Now today let's talk of Poland. This is a country I have a very strong relationship with. When I say strong relationship, I mean I go way back. So now let's dive into the video. The first time I traveled to Poland, that was, I remember very well, that was in 2011. And yeah, it's a very beautiful country, to be honest. I don't mean beauty in terms of infrastructure, but I just mean, let's say, you know, the shaboink part of it is really beautiful. But in terms of experience, it's really deep. I'm going to dive into it, so get yourself ready. It's going to be a little bit feisty one. But now, the first time I was in Poland, that was 2011. So then the city I traveled to back then was Poznan. So from the airport I took a taxi, and before I came out of the airport I got like some Jack Daniels in like the can, the small Jack Daniels inside the can. So then I took the Jack Daniels, I bought like maybe 4 or 5. So I ordered the taxi. So the taxi came, I sit inside the taxi, I showed the taxi my address, I just opened the can of the Jack Daniels and started drinking. So the taxi man was looking at me, he's not saying anything. It was just like, okay, I will let you be you. And there is the thing. After I was, the taxi man drove me to my address. When I get to my address, I came down. But before I go inside there, I just decided to just like puff a few cigarettes, and then that's just it, and just finish my drink before I go inside there. So when I was drinking, then the police, they came, and then they asked me hi. I said hi, and they asked me where I'm from. I said I came from England, and they were like, oh, nice. And they told me to look around. So I mean, back then there's also some story that ties to me that I said I come from England. But anyway, they told me to look around. I said, what do you mean, my man? I mean, these everywhere, these Poland, so what are you talking about? He said, look around again. So those are the police, they're telling me to look around. So then I look around again, I see I ain't saying shit, man. You know, I just see all the people here and everyone. That's just about it. Then he said, you know, my friend, in Poland, we don't smoke outside on the street. Now look again. Then I look around and I couldn't find anyone like smoking on the street. So which means if you want to smoke, you have to stay somewhere and smoke and finish, and then you keep walking. Because like countries like England, for example, countries like Germany, you drink, you walk on the street. In Italy, you drink, you walk on the street. But in Spain, it's not allowed. You cannot be drinking and be walking on the street in Spain. You can have a drink where you are and so on. So different places, but I wasn't aware of this about Poland. That was my very first experience. And they told me also, you don't drink and smoke. So they gave me a warning, and I said, I'm very sorry, and this and that. So they let me go. So usually I'm supposed to be giving like maybe around 50 euro fine or something, but they let me go because I said it's my first time, and also the instruction is in, you know, how the airport, they could have make foreigners aware of this kind of laws and so on. So they said it's fine, first time, it doesn't matter. So later that night I went to a club with a Nigerian guy. So his father, he's from Nigeria, and his mother, Hispanic. So we went out, and I think around 4 a.m. The next day. So I think 4 or 5 a.m. the next day from the club, I'm heading back to the apartment. So I'm with a Polish girl and also just drinking. And I already forgot about the police that happened to me the day before. And then the police, the same group of police are the one that also stopped me again in Poznan. It's very close to the old market square called Kamaraska. Oh my god. And then when I saw them, they're like, oh, my friend, it's very good to see you again. And I started thinking these are the same police. So long story short, then they told me, now again I'm drinking. I said, I'm sorry. They said, oh, no problem, British, we give you a fine. So then they told me to first throw the drink away, and they wrote me a fine of, then I paid them like maybe I also want to pay them on the spot, which isn't really allowed because you have to go and pay with that slip they gave you. So then they said I want to bribe them. I said no my friend, I just want to give you, you know, maybe we can talk. He said no, in Poland it's not nice. And that was my very first experience in the country, and that will always stuck with me for the rest of my life. And now let's come to the other side of things about living in Poland. Is Poland a very friendly country? And I will put it from in different categories. The first part that we will talk about when it comes to Poland is really cheap when it comes to education. So many Nigerians and many people from around the world, they travel to Poland just because they also have the same kind of EU education standards. So if you ain't any certificate from Poland, you can use it to work in different parts of Europe or something like that. And for most part of it, when people went to Poland to study, they went there to study to gain their permanent residence and so on. And then they moved to places like London, then they moved to places like Netherlands, Germany, Norway, and then they started living their life in a different way. So which is one of the things I think is really good about Poland, because when it comes to education, there is a huge communities of students in Poland, which I found really interesting. And also they are also very friendly. But I don't mean the Polish people. I mean when it comes to this student life and this education aspect of things, you meet people you know you share the same kind of journey, so you don't have to be friends, but your journey is the same. So which means you have to find a way to get along. It's required to survive in the country, and this is one of the things I was talk about. So in Poland, in that sense, in that regard, I think it's a really a good choice when someone wants to think about studying abroad and you want to get your foot into like coming to Europe. I would suggest, take it from that direction of going to Poland, study there, and use the influence to try to go to other European countries. And now we go to, let's say, the lifestyle in Poland. Okay, when it comes to like living in Poland, I live once in Poznan, and I live once in Warsaw, and also I live like a lot in Huch. Huch is one of the oldest city in Poland, and it's also one of the most dirtiest city in whole of Poland. But here's the thing, in Poznan is more kind of open, expat, and kind of you have the people there are more central, they are more open and a little bit more welcoming. So, and you will have problems, but the problem you're going to have as a male is basically with Polish men, because they will think you're going to take all the Polish women. And really there used to be a huge fight, especially when I was in Hush. There is a place called Casablanca, so you go there, you see some African guys come to Casablanca and some Polish women or Polish girls, they tripping, you get to intertwine with each other and mingles and so on and things like that. And let's say from the moment you're leaving, like you are leaving Casablanca going to it, most of the time is always nasty. Like we and the Polish guys, we have to fight, because then they will be singing you Jaja Kumbo, which means like hey black monkeys, and then it's going to turn into like a big brawl, and then the police will come, and it's a mess with the Polish men. And also I think only one time I experienced not only one time I have experienced racism in Poland, but in this regard, how it happens is just, it's so bad, because if the table turns around, I think I'll go to jail, because I was in a place called Auchan. So Auchan is like a supermarket where you get your groceries and so on. And then there's this Polish lady, she walked behind me the first time. I was looking, okay, what's she looking at? And then after some time, then I saw someone touch my butt. Then I turned around, I found the lady there. I was like, hey, what are you doing? And then she said she's looking for a tail. That means she's looking for a tail of a monkey. Then I spit in her face, because I know I cannot touch her, I cannot eat her. So I did that, and as the time I did that is when someone passed by, and someone just think I just only did that, and then they start accusing me. It turns to something. They call the security, they call the police, and the police arrive, and then I get to tell my side of the story and said, look, this is what happened. And then they looked the CCTV, and then they saw like she touched my butt. So the only way I could react is what I did, and what I did is not even visible on the camera, so it's just hearsay and she say or that say, so it's not really valid in court, so they cannot move the case forward. So they gave the lady a fine or something like that, and then she gave some apology, and I also give some apology. This is one of my experience in Poland when it comes to, let's say, in this regard of racism and so on. And and by the time that one happened, I already grow a tougher skin for things like that. So I wasn't so surprised or, oh, this happened. I just like, yeah, I know how to deal with these things. But in sense of, let's say, living in Poland, like cost of living, I'll say Poland is one of the most cheapest country in the Europe you can live. But now when it comes to, if you live in Poland and you're working in Poland, if you don't have a really, really good job, it's going to affect your livelihood, which makes it the difference. So what most people do is they live in Poland and they work in the neighboring EU country. So which means they are working and earning their salary in euros, and then they are using the money, their income, in Polish zloty. So which means if you earn what was it called 10 euro in Germany, you earn 40 zloty in Poland. So this like kind of, so a lot of people come from Poland to work in Germany and then they go back. Some people even rent apartment here, so they have their life there. So means they stay here from Monday to Friday and then they go to Poland back on Friday. So on Sunday they come back again, or on Monday morning. So this is like kind of how it works. But in terms of, if you really have like a really good job, or let's say if you're someone who have, let's say, good remote income, for example like a guy like Tyra, who wants to live in EU or a place like with Poland, could be like a really good choice for him, because he's really earning good salary, and then with his livelihood and everything over there, I think he will be able to do it in a really good and a smart way. So in overall, I think my own experience with Poland is, let's say, it's not the best country, but it's just like a fair country. And this is my own experience as a whole. And I have more than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years experience with Poland, because sometimes even I go back and forth. I even go there sometime for holiday, just like maybe a week or something. I'll just book myself Airbnb and stay there for like a week. Maybe I just need some days and some time to compress from some things, It's a place, I think it gives that very short comfort, because when I'm there, so it's also really easy for me to get people to, But yeah, I dropped the mic and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.